Good afternoon. Welcome in, everybody. We are back. Three games, three NFL games tonight. We've got a lot to talk about. Preseason. We've got some bets that I like. We've got DFS. So we're going to break it down. The blog is live. So if you guys go to rollinginsights.com, NFL DFS preseason top plays is live there. On the website. We're going to run through it. I'll give you guys my thoughts on these players and kind of, where I think the ownership's going to go. Maybe there's some leverage plays we can make. And then we'll talk some bets too. I actually like a couple bets tonight. Ryan, Dewan, Nathan, welcome in. Go Birds, excited to see Jihad Campbell. Yeah. I don't know. I have not looked defensively at how much you guys are going to play, so I don't know, but I've firmly been looking at these offenses. But yeah, so we can kind of talk about it. I guess if we'll start just game by game, kind of my thoughts here. Let me pull that up. So first game at 7 on NFL Network. Indy and Baltimore. These two teams have been doing joint practices this week, so they're well familiar with each other. So just make a note there. Baltimore, I don't think we will see anybody playing for Baltimore tonight. Indy, we at least know where the quarterback is going to go. And that is going to be Anthony Richardson is going to get the first quarter and a half. And then Daniel Jones is going to finish out the first half. And then that's going to flip for their next game. And Daniel Jones will start and play a quarter and a half. Anthony Richardson will finish out the half. So tonight we're going to get a nice dose of Anthony Richardson, which is great for preseason DFS because we like to use him in regular NFL games. So we certainly will use him in these preseason games. We know he has big-time rushing upside. And all reports around Anthony Richardson have been positive at camp. It sounds like he came in locked in, knowing that he has a chance to lose, his starting job, which is good. So sounds like he's locked in. He's been playing well. We know he's going to play a quarter and a half, and that is good enough for me in the DFS side of things. And then on the Baltimore side, again, not going to be really seeing any Lamar Jackson. And I would weight the Baltimore quarterback situation behind guys that we know have higher fantasy upside. The Colts opened plus 1.5 in this game. They are now minus 6.5, knowing that we're going to get, a full half of their starting quarterback situation. I wouldn't look to really bet on the Colts at minus 6.5. Definitely liked them earlier in the week when they were minus 130. Wish I would have bet it, but I did not. So that's just an avoid for me on the full game line. I do like the Colts first quarter. You can get them at least on Bet365 earlier when I put this in. The Colts minus 0.5 point for the first quarter was plus 100. So I went ahead and took that. Anthony Richardson, hopefully he doesn't throw a pick six. I'm pretty sure, I think last year in the preseason, I think his first drive, he threw a pick six. Hopefully he doesn't do that tonight. But that is certainly possible, when it comes down to Anthony Richardson. Nathan, you said you did a Bengals first half, Colts first half moneyline parlay. Don't hate that. We can kind of flip over there to the next game, which is Bengals Eagles. Eagles are notorious in recent years under Nick Sirianni. They don't play anybody in the preseason. They ride these fringy roster guys. So we should see, a lot of McCord action tonight, I think, for the Eagles. On the Bengals side, they said Joe Burrow's going to play a quarter, but I don't necessarily believe that. This kind of feels to me like the Chiefs situation where every single year Andy Reid comes out and says, hey, the starters and Patrick Mahomes are going to play a quarter, and they don't ever play a quarter. So I don't believe that Joe Burrow is going to play a quarter. I think at most you get 2 drives from him. You'll probably get a drive if they score a touchdown. I don't know if he comes back out. If they go like 3 and out, you get another drive. But I think as soon as they score a TD, you probably don't see him anymore, and you're probably getting like 2 drives from him. Would be my guess. So if people are like, if he threw a touchdown on 1 drive and never came back in, if it was a long TD, maybe he's viable in DFS. But if people are going to play him, I'm happy to fade. I just don't see him playing a full quarter. I don't see Jamar Chase playing a full quarter. I just don't. So we'll see if I'm proven wrong there. But feels like a Chiefs situation to me on that side of things. But I did bet Cincinnati for the first quarter -0.5 at -115. We are going to get some Joe Burrow. So like I said, maybe he goes down, scores on the first drive, and then comes out. And then we should see a lot of Jake Browning after Burrow. So I did not include him on the quarterback section of the DFS article, but I'll talk about that when we get to the DFS side of things. And then on the Eagle side, like I said, probably see a good bit of like McCord. I don't think you'll see, obviously, any Hurts or anything like that. And then in the late game, we have the Seahawks and the Raiders. The Seahawks are +4.5 on the money line. I actually like Seattle a little bit to win this game. So I don't know what the Raiders are going to do. Pete Carroll gave us nothing to work with as far as reporting. So I don't really know what we'll see. I don't know if we'll see Geno Smith. I have no idea. I would guess we don't see any Geno Smith, and it's a lot of Aiden O'Connell and a lot of the rookie that they drafted. But I don't know. They were very not helpful. Cam Miller is the rookie 6th round out of North Dakota State. I think it's going to be a lot of Aiden O'Connell and Cam Miller, but I guess maybe we see Geno for a drive. I have no idea. They have not given us anything to work with. But on the Seattle side, we're going to see Drew Lock and we're going to see Jalen Milroe. Those are going to be the guys that are playing. Drew Lock has started NFL games quite a bit, and I like Jalen Milroe a lot. You guys know I had him number 2 in this class behind Cam Ward, so I'm excited to watch Jalen Milroe tonight. And I think the quality of the quarterback play, assuming we don't see any Geno Smith, is in Seattle's favor. That's why I think I'm interested in them at +200 on the money line in this game. So those are my thoughts game to game. As far as DFS goes, if we start at the quarterback position, I wrote up Anthony Richardson and Jalen Milroe. I also think Drew Lock and Jake Browning are viable tournament plays. I'm assuming Anthony Richardson and Jalen Milroe are going to be the highest owned options. So if you're playing larger field tournaments, mixing in Drew Lock, mixing in a Jake Browning could be interesting. But those are probably like the 4 quarterbacks that I would most be interested in. The running back position, there's more options. So Rasheen Ali, DJ Giddens, George Holani, Shanderick Powell, those are the guys I wrote up. And there's other guys in play. So we'll start with the Ravens. I think Keaton Mitchell could get some ownership tonight, but I just don't know how much he's going to play. He feels like pretty likely to make the team. Rasheen Ali is on that roster bubble. We saw Rasheen Ali last year in the preseason a good bit. I think we could see that same situation again this year. So I like him a lot tonight. If people are going to play Mitchell, I would rather play Ali personally. DJ Giddens is a rookie out of Kansas State for the Colts. He is firmly in the mix for the backup job behind Jonathan Taylor. He can contribute running and passing. He was very good for fantasy points at Kansas State, so I'm definitely interested in him, assuming we see a good bit of him. Seattle is similar to Baltimore for me. I think a lot of people are going to play Damian Martinez. I would rather go with George Holani. I think there's a good chance Holani is on the field with Milroe, which we know that having a quarterback that can run can positively affect the running back. Holani can contribute both running and passing. He played ahead of Ashton Genty at Boise State. He scored twice in the preseason last year as well for Seattle. So I like George Holani over Martinez for a little bit of an ownership play. And then Shanderick Powell for the Eagles. He's gotten a ton of positive talk in camp. Like I said, I don't think the Eagles are going to play anybody of substance here, so we could probably see a lot of Shanderick Powell tonight. Other guys that I would consider are Martinez, I think, from Seattle is fine. I just prefer Holani for the ownership. Taj Brooks from Cincy has gotten a lot of positive camp talk. They let go of Zach Moss, so Taj Brooks is pretty much the handcuff to Chase Brown at this point. I don't know how much he's going to play tonight, but he is certainly good enough skill-wise to do some damage when he is on the field. So I would put him in the mix too. But if he's going to get ownership, I just don't know how motivated the Bengals are going to be to play him a lot tonight. At receiver, A.D. Mitchell is going to get some ownership. He carved up the Ravens apparently in these joint practices. He's more on the bubble than some of their other receivers. And, I mean, he has upside. I mean, he was a high pick for the Colts. He's fast. Definitely the type of guy that we like to use in preseason DFS. So I like A.D. Mitchell a lot. Jermaine Burton is similar to Taj Brooks. I just don't know how much he's going to play when it boils down to it, but he had a terrible rookie season. The Bengals need him to contribute this year after Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So I could see them giving him some run tonight. The camp reports around him have been good, and he has pedigree coming from his time at Texas and Alabama. So I like Jermaine Burton tonight. Torrey Horton has gotten a ton of positive talk out of Seahawks camp. Some people were comparing him to Jerry Rice on the field. He was an absolute stud at Colorado State. Good athletic profile as well. And he has a very real chance to earn a starting spot for the Seahawks coming out of camp over Marquez Valdes-Scantling. He should get a good look early in the game tonight. I like him a lot. I like Dante Thornton a lot as well for the Raiders. 6'5", 4.3 speed, similar to Mitchell, like really fast. Those are the guys I like to bet on in preseason. And then you bake in that he's 6'5" as well. Definitely could see the Raiders skimming up a couple long balls to Thornton tonight. And I like him a lot. He might be my favorite. Him and Horton might be my two favorites overall. There's a bunch of other receivers that you can consider in tournaments. Elijah Cooks as well for the Eagles. I think he'll see a ton of time tonight. So I think he's interesting. You could look at like Anais Smith for Philly, who we used last preseason. That him and Cooks are the guys that you'll probably see a bunch of tonight. So if everyone's going to play Cooks, you can pivot to Anais Smith. Tez Walker for the Ravens. I think you could see a lot of him tonight. He's a good tournament option. Those are probably two that stick out to me. And then for tight ends, I didn't write any up. I think you play Tanner Hudson, which we always end up playing Tanner Hudson in these DFS slates. I don't know why or how that is, but once again, I think he's going to play a ton for the Bengals tonight. So Tanner Hudson. If you want to go rookie-wise, Elijah Aroro for the Seahawks. High rookie pick. We could see him get some playing time. Tyler Warren. I don't know how much Aroro and Warren. I don't know how much those rookies are going to play, but they definitely have ability if they're on the field to catch a couple passes. But I'll probably just play Tanner Hudson like we always do in DFS and just kind of go from there. But that about does it for the DFS plays. If you guys have questions on anything, go ahead and ask. I would probably look to get a little weird. I always like to have like one low-owned guy in these preseason tournaments because ownership always concentrates super heavy on these certain guys. So you can look to get a little bit weird in tournaments. Anais Smith might be like that guy for me tonight. Did not write him up, but could see myself pivoting Cooks to him maybe. I think he scored last preseason as well. Let me double check this. Let's see. Last preseason. No, I guess he didn't. Maybe I was misremembering that. Wait, yes, he did. Yeah, he did. Oh, no, he caught a 2-point conversion to win the game. That's what I'm remembering. Interesting. He was really good in college. He played at Texas A&M. He scored a lot of touchdowns. So I might roll some Anais Smith tonight instead of Cooks, and then I'll probably play like Horton. I might play 4 receivers tonight, to be honest. Typically in preseason, I like to go heavy running backs. I might go receiver tonight. I might go Anais Smith, Thornton, Horton, and like Mitchell for like my main team potentially. But we'll see. Not really a lot of baseball going on tonight, so we don't really have much to talk about there. If you guys missed it for the bets, I took Cincy first quarter -0.5. I took Indy first quarter -0.5, and then I took Seattle on the money line. The blog post is up for free, rollinginsights.com. Just go, here's the website, click blog. It's right there. It's the top one. If you're interested, you can go back and rewatch this, obviously. Guru, I saw your comment earlier about Red Zone. I think they will probably ruin it because that's what ESPN does. But I am interested in this college Red Zone. Agree with you. I think that's interesting. Would you look at JK in drafts? I do think he will be the starting running back to start the season. So, yeah, I think he is fine. He wasn't great metrically last season, but he had a pretty productive season volume-wise for the Chargers. The metrics weren't great, but I do think he's going to get the first crack at work for the Broncos this year. So just inherently, I am a little bit interested in him, yes. Overall, though, tomorrow's stream will be at 11 a.m., so make sure you guys tune in for that. We'll talk. There's 3 more preseason games tomorrow, so I'll try and have the blog out for tomorrow before the stream. We'll talk about it on the stream again, and then I got to get cracking on this, my article for how to draft your teams. I would like to have that out before my draft at the Fantasy Football Expo on Saturday, so I'm going to be working on that tonight and tomorrow as well. Good luck tonight if you're playing DFS, tailing the bets, baseball, any of that good stuff. I will be live tomorrow at 11 a.m., and I'll see you guys then.